What's going on, everybody? My name is Rob A, and this is Transformers Power of the Primes Prime Masters Wave 2. We have two new molds in this wave, and they retail for $4.99 a piece. We have Alpha Trion, who is a Prime Master, of course, and then we have Alchemist Prime with Submarauder. So let's take a look at Alpha Trion really quickly here. Checking out the back of the package, we can see his decoy armor is landmine. Right there. He's got the power of infinite knowledge. Transforms in 3 steps. You can take a look at the symbol there. Let's take a quick look at the UPC on the back for those of you that want to find this in your local stores. And then just a quick look at the artwork on the package. You can see some nice artwork there. Alright, so up next we have Alchemist Prime, and let's take a quick look at that really nice artwork up there of Submarauder. Very cool looking. And then take a quick peek at the figure itself. On the back of the package, we can see that the decoy armor is in fact Submarauder. Transforms in 3 steps, like all these little guys. You can take a look at Alchemist Prime symbol. He is a mystical scientist, whatever that means. And again, let's take a look at the UPC for those of you that want to find this in your local stores. So here are your newest Prime Masters. On the left here we have Alpha Trion and Landmine. And as you can see, you've got a nice, very industrial looking shell figure. We've got a reuse of the gun barrel from one of the other characters. I can't remember exactly which one. One of the characters from Wave 1, and then we have a spot here for the Prime Master. And of course you can move the arms up and down all the way around, and that really is the only articulation that the shell features. But you can also open up the front here to reveal Alpha Trion, and it's a very strange color scheme, I feel, for Alpha Trion. If I'm remembering correctly, he was always kind of depicted in a blue color scheme, so I'm not sure why they went with this really straight up yellow-orange color, but you know, that's their choice, I suppose. Nothing really fancy or different about the sculpt of the figure itself. And on the back you can see, flipping over the legs, you can see that you have the symbol for Alpha Trion. And of course you can attach this to the shell figure by flipping up the gun barrel. You can sort of attach the figure to this either as a seat or just flip it over, and it becomes kind of a powered weapon that you can slot into the hand of any of your other Power of the Primes figures. You can also remove the gun barrel just like that, and you can see there is a small tab underneath, and you can slot that into the hand of the Prime Master shell, and it can be wielded as a separate weapon. So let's go ahead and put Alpha Trion back in there. Now Alpha Trion is listed as infinite knowledge, so if you attach this to any of your Power of the Primes figures, or even, I suppose, your not Combiner Wars, but the other one, Prime Masters figures, or Titan Masters. There you go, Titan Master figures. Apparently you'll give them infinite knowledge, which seems pretty nice, I guess. Now moving on, we have Alchemist Prime, and this time he's got Submarauder as his, for lack of a better word, Pretender shell or Titan Master shell. Now, originally I thought Alpha Trion here was a reuse of a previous mold, but it is in fact a new mold. Just the gun barrel is the reuse, and these are both new molds, which is very nice. They come shipped with, I believe, Liege Maximo, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be totally wrong, but they do come shipped with another Wave 1 figure. Anyway, we have a Submarauder here, and it's a very nice homage to the original Submarauder. And we can open it up, and you can see inside we do have Alchemist Prime. And we can pop Alchemist Prime out, theoretically. There we go. And here we are. And Alchemist Prime does not have any paint on the face of the figure. And again, there's really nothing interesting or unique about this figure other than the back side, which has Alchemist Prime's symbol on it, which looks like a big spider face, actually. It looks a little bit like movie Bone Crusher, to be honest, and it's pretty weird. So, you know, you do get articulation on these Prime Masters a little bit, at least. You can move the arms up and down. You can move the legs in a sitting position, or, of course, up to combine into the, or transform into the head or Prime Master mode. And, of course, you can close this back up and use Submarauder on its own, or slot the Prime Master back inside. So we're going to leave it empty for right now, but you can, of course, just like Landmine, you can move the arms all the way around. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. You do have this trident weapon in the back. And you can, of course, flip this up and flip this down in order to have a a piercing weapon or a gun or whatever sort of thing you would want. Again, you can attach your Prime Master to the weapon as well, or if you want to, you can even utilize this as just putting that back as maybe a thruster or something. You can actually use this as a pretty neat flying vehicle, just due to the way that they kind of curved this back, so it kind of creates almost a ship-like appearance on the back of Submarauder. You've even got some tubes and things like that sculpted on there. So, and you can put that back up to show that it is Prime powered, if that is something that strikes your fancy. And last but not least, as we showed before, you can also remove the trident weapon and place it into Submarauder's hand as a separate weapon. So for pros and cons and my final verdict, we'll start with the pros. It's definitely nice to have another wave of powers for all of your Power of the Prime figures. It's nice to have more Prime figures. They also make great fiddle formers or desktop toys. These are small, inexpensive, and they do a pretty good job of just hanging out on your desk and not taking up a lot of space, but you can reach over and grab one and just mess around with it anytime you want to. And it's always good to have more weapons for any of your Transformers. They all have weapon modes, and it's nice to be able to have that option, especially since the smaller class Transformers are pretty much no longer including separate weapons. As far as the cons, the Power of the Primes line in general is not what I had in mind when they announced that they were making action figures based on the 13 Primes. So, you know, it's really not what I had in mind to get these tiny little guys here. Also, there's no real variance between, these are the 13 original primes, and they all just kind of look pretty much the same. They're very tiny, there's nothing interesting or unique about them, save for that one symbol on their back. And even those symbols are very, very similar to one another for the most part, and just not really interesting. And last but not least, it's a really weird color choice for Alpha Trion, I feel. It doesn't look or feel Alpha Trion-y at all. And maybe I'm getting that totally wrong and completely off base. And if that's the case, then I apologize. But when I look at this figure, it doesn't really scream Alpha Trion to me. But anyway, all that said, I am going to give these a solid 3 out of 5. So they're not bad toys. They're perfectly fine figures. There's nothing really bad or wrong about them. But they don't, there are some disappointments there. But at the same time, they're fun little figures to mess around with. So ultimately, 3 out of 5, which pushes them right into the recommended category. So that's it. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I definitely want to thank my Patreon supporter and my supporters out there that helped me do this. And it really is appreciated. So thanks to you guys. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.